the question of government's comment on the decision of UNATU arts teachers continuing the strike and also the university lecturers joining them in that strike. Good morning to you, Stephen.
Yes, good morning to you. Thank you so much, Priscilla. This is the 13th day after the non-science teachers decided to go on strike. And indeed, in some schools and different parts of the country, learners have not been getting what their parents are sending them to get from the schools. I'm here with, yes, indeed, the Right Honorable Robina Nabanja Musafiri. She's also the woman MP for Kakumiro District. Good morning to you, Honorable. Thank you so much for welcoming me inside your home.
Morning.
We know you are leading the government business. One of the arms where government is supposed to offer service to the nation is education. And after a 2-year lockdown, our children we send to schools, in public schools, they're not getting the arts lessons. They're only getting the sciences, especially those in secondary. This should be concerning you as government.
Of course. It is concerning government, it is concerning everybody. It's a concern for the country. I want to inform the general public that as a government, we are concerned of what is happening, and two, we are committed to enhance salaries of all civil servants, including teachers, including arts teachers. But we all agreed that let us start somewhere, because our government or our economy cannot, meet all the needs of every civil servant at a go. So we all agreed that let us start with scientists. You will recall that in the past 2 years we have had COVID-19, and what happened? The economy shut down across the globe. We all had to depend on our medical personnel here. We all had to depend on our medical personnel. And that now means that if we had to plan and say with the meager resources, where do we start from? We agreed as cabinet, with the guidance of the president, that let us start with the scientists. Because the scientists drive the economy. In terms of need, they are always there. And secondly, we also discovered that most of our consultants have been going out of the country looking for green pasture. So we agreed that in order for us to retain our people to work for us here, remember, we have many consultants who rent to Nairobi. Why? Because they are paid better. We have consultants who are working in other countries. Why? Because they are paid better. So we all agreed, let us have our medical personnel and the scientists handled first.
You know, in last week we saw some members of parliament. They held a press conference in parliament where you sit, and we are saying that if government is taking scientists more serious, why is it that we see some members of parliament who are even running this government as part of the three arms of government? They are the ones also getting more money. They are the ones who are also making laws for this country. They are saying that, hey, government should be, executive should be taking the arts teachers also serious, because even them who are non-scientists are earning more money.
Nobody is taking the arts teachers as unserious. They are part and parcel of government, and they are doing a very good job, and we appreciate. But in the event that we don't have enough, because other people were like, the 95 billion should be spread across. And when you calculate, it's not even meaningful. So we agreed, members, like we needed to, as a country, to start somewhere. In the event we don't have enough money in the budget, and remember the budget was passed with the enhancement of only science teachers. The science teachers are only 11,000. The total number of primary school teachers are 133,000. The total number of secondary school teachers are 30,000. So total is 163. So if you say, let us add only 100,000 per head, that will translate into 165 billion per month. And what does that translate to in a year? That now goes to almost 180 something billion. I mean, 1 trillion, 1.8 trillion. We cannot afford that in a year. We cannot.
So what do you tell those members of parliament or other like-minded people who say that yes, you are not taking science?
I want them not to politicize this issue. The issue is about economics. The issue is about our children. Remember, they have been sitting for over 2 years because of lockdown. And these are children who are in the periphery. They are children for the poor. People should think about that. The members of parliament who are talking about this, for them, their children don't go to these government schools. They go to other schools. For them, they are able. But let us now look at this in its real merit. We are talking about a Ugandan child who has been sitting down for 2 years, a Ugandan child who is about to do exams. They are going to write the exams soon. They have to prepare themselves. The teachers have also been sitting down. They have not been working for 2 years. But remember, government has been paying them despite the fact that they have not been going to class.
During the 2-year lockdown?
Yes, we have paid them fully. And therefore, that one is not an issue. The trade union started this strike at a time when we had even concluded the budget. And people are wondering, when this came up, I caused meetings, me as leader of government business. And these people did not come for these meetings. They only wanted to meet the president. Now, after meeting the president, they are turning around and now they want to meet us. Now, after meeting the head of state, and to me, that is the apex body. That is the topmost leader. Now, they want us to change what they agreed with the president. In that meeting, I was represented, and we know what they agreed on. So the teachers, to me, I want to appeal to fellow Ugandans, the teachers, that please go back and teach our children.
As you make that plea and call, the trade unions still talking about that Uganda National Teachers Union, they are saying that they want you, if government feels that they don't have legitimate concern, government should go to court because the Ministry of Public Service issued a directive to them saying that either they report back to school on Friday.
Sincerely, I have been in the periphery of this country. I've been to districts, I've been in the field to roll out PDM. I was in Kagadi. All the schools in Kagadi, most of them are working, are open and teaching. I was in Kakumiro. Most of our schools are teaching. I was in Kasanda. I saw children at school. Where I landed, I saw children at school and they were teaching. I was in Mitiana. Some schools were busy teaching. It's only Kampala and you, the press, who are trying to magnify this as a very big issue.
At least I watched you on TV when you were at that school, but I've gotten reports from Busia, from Serere, and some schools in West Nile that up to now the schools are under lock and key. Let
me tell you, the teachers must know that those children they are not teaching are Ugandan children. They are their relatives, they are their children, and they know that government, they know the government's position. We are not going to enhance the teachers' pay this financial year. We are going to enhance their salaries depending on the availability of funds.
Yes, Right Honourable. Yes, Right Honourable, as you make that stand, concrete stand, we know that UNATU is saying that unless you go to court, because they are ready to face you in court, they are saying that the directive from Minister of Public Service telling them to report back to school on Friday, which was last week, or lose jobs.
Yes.
And today, when you see schools, some schools are still under lock and key.
No.
They're still closed.
By the way, it is only you.
Yes, what I'm saying is the president directed them to go back to school. They didn't report, and they wanted to meet here again. And then the public service says they're bound to lose their jobs. And yet today, some are still out of school.
Wait.
What's the way forward?
Do you think public service is not an authentic body in this government?
It is.
If it is, then our teachers should go back to school and teach. Nobody has authority to close the schools, neither the head teacher nor the teachers. So, who is the owner of these schools? Government is telling our teachers to go back and teach. And if they don't, they will lose. We shall count them as having abandoned their duty. And it is their right, by the way, to withdraw their service. It is their right. But we shall not close these schools forever. And this impasse must end. And today we have deployed as government throughout the country. We are saying the chief administrative officers should delete all those teachers who are not in class today up to 30th. We are giving them today up to 30th.
Positive.
And then they will delete them, and we'll go through the normal process to recruit other willing people, because the conditions are known. And by the way, government's pay when it comes to primary schools is about, those with a certificate is 560. When you compare this pay to that is being given by private schools, ours is higher. And the private schools these days sometimes perform even better than our government schools.
For them, they are taking that as a threat.
We have never seen UNATO talk about this. We are even wondering the role of UNATO when it comes to performance. Where are they when our children are not performing better? Is their role only, to fight for pay? Money all the time? Why don't they talk about performance in our schools? And therefore, for us as government, we are appealing to teachers to go back and teach, or else we shall replace them with those who are willing to go by those conditions.
When you make that stand, UNATO still feels that this is just a threat. And when you say that if they don't report a threat, and if they don't report to schools by 30th, they feel that you are just sending these RDCs and the other people, other government officials, to intimidate them, but they will not be moved. That's what they're saying.
If they have the key to pay these teachers, then they will not be moved. We are saying the chief administrative officers across the country are directed to delete those teachers who will have absconded, who will not have reported for duty by 30th. In July, we shall be in another recruitment exercise. Thank you so much.
And finally, as we wind up, what is your call to the learners, to the teachers, to the parents who, some of them are sending their children to school, but then they end up not learning? What are you telling even the school administrators, the local government, in a period like this when you're moving almost 2 weeks with the lockdown? What are you telling them?
I am only appealing, because that's what I can do now, to the head teachers of these schools, to the parents to send their children to school. If the children are at school and the teachers are not there, then we can see what to do. Let the parents send their children to school. Let the head teachers open our schools. And if they are not ready to teach, let us know. Because these teachers were recruited through the normal process, through the normal procedure. And they saw the conditions government was giving them. And they wrote accepting to work under such conditions. Okay? And now, I think the only way is for teachers to go back and teach, because government does not have money to enhance their salaries.
Thank you. The word is so clear to all the teachers, the learners, and the parents, and whoever is concerned about our education standards, especially you who are supposed to implement this learning in schools. Stephen Imbido and Fefe Chibuga, it's been a privilege to speak to you, Right Honourable Prime Minister, Honourable Robina Nabanja, who is also the woman member of Parliament for Kakumiro District. Handing you back to studio for now.
Stephen Imbido, and of course the